Oh,
nice.
Food, glorious food.
Yummy.
Hello folks, hope you're well. Welcome to another Cheap versus Steep. Today we're putting Lidl's cheapest own brand products
Against a deluxe or branded version to see if paying more is really worth it.
We're doing 3 courses and then there's a quirky drink at the end. The drink at the end,
I'm looking forward to the drink at the end.
I've done all my geeky calculations which will blow your mind today. We're going to start off with prawn cocktail, right?
We are.
So let's start off with mayonnaise. This is the budget version of, actually went for light mayonnaise, Mrs. B, didn't we?
I did.
500 mils of the basic is 95 pence.
They didn't have a deluxe version of the mayo, but they had this brand, Hellman's, and that was £2.75 for 580 mils.
So this is 2.5 times more if you had the same amount. Our attempt to make a very bodged Thousand Island dressing with the mayo also involves a little bit of ketchup. So the cheap one there, that was the same brand, I think Batts, 650 grams for £1.05. But the branded one, a very well-known brand there, slightly larger bottle is £3.99.
Ooh.
So if you made that 800 grams, the price of that would be £3.24 versus £1.05.
Oh, wow.
Or 3 times the price.
Wow.
That's the difference. That's crazy,
That
right?
is mad. And branded sauces are known to be a lot more, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I do prefer it.
Yeah, me too. You can always tell when it's cheap ketchup. You and the kids are like, oh, what is this?
We only need a blob of it as well. All right, I got the cheap.
I got the steep. Oh,
Oh, wow.
oh, yours.
Mine's coming out good. Look at that. Like, mine's come out really smooth, and you've just got like a slightly more yellowy hue to it.
Yeah, yours looks white.
Yeah, it does. It looks like PVA glue. I'm going to aim for a little bit of ketchup in the middle, and I completely missed it. Oh, look at that. Oh, yours looks well smoother.
Yeah. Yeah, yours is like lumpy.
Yeah.
It looks like it's curdled.
Hopefully, though, this should give us our dressing. And you can see yours it's slightly different, isn't it?
It is.
Now, I did say that was a very bodged one. We could have added like things like paprika or lemons in with that, but we were looking around Lidl and it was literally like, no, these are lemons and this is paprika.
Yeah.
We didn't have an alternative, so instead we omitted it. It saved a bit of money. I mean, that is the ultimate cheap versus steep. Just don't buy anything.
Just don't do it.
Just don't do it. Just don't go shopping. You'll be all right. Glass of water. A prawn cocktail needs prawns. This is the budget version. It's from Lighthouse Bay, ready-to-eat cold water prawns, cooked and peeled, responsibly sourced. 150 grams for £1.99.
I have a deluxe version, also responsibly sourced. Oh, so they're the same weight.
Yeah, and they were £2.99. So because they're the same weight, it's literally they're £1 more.
These are jumbo.
Yeah, if you look at them, there is actually quite the difference there.
Oh, yours look like the little ones you get in Jack of Potatoes.
Like in a cafe. That actually looks more like paint.
Yeah.
Like genuinely. You can't see enough prawns in there, can you?
No.
It's all right, we can fish these out. No pun intended. All right, last ingredient is lettuce. There wasn't really a deluxe lettuce, was there?
No.
They did have this one that had like a soil ball on it, but this is quite an interesting one, all right? So we've got this packet of washed and ready to eat lettuce, you know, that kind of like standard stuff that you get that does seem to like brown around the edges almost. Do you get that?
Yeah, it doesn't last very long.
200 grams for 65p.
And then we got some sweet gem lettuce for the expensive version.
Well, they are 89p, and they don't, this is the crazy thing. It's got like the biggest barcode on the world on it. Look at that. But it's one of the first things I've ever bought, and I thought this was a legal requirement. There isn't actually a weight on it. So Mrs. B weighed it earlier, and it was 300 grams.
Yeah.
So this is the really interesting thing. 300 grams,
Yes.
200 grams.
Okay.
If you had 200 grams equivalent of that, the more expensive would be cheaper. That's one of the first times ever.
Oh, wow. So we got it the wrong way around then.
So this is 65p. If you
Yeah.
had 200 grams of that, it would be 60p. So like
okay.
you're saving 5p.
But actually, normally bagged lettuce is more expensive than like your...
Yeah, I don't really ever look at it. I don't tend to buy that stuff. I tend to like these ones. And also, I don't know the official term of the sweet gem lettuce, but you've got in a bit of stump there as well, aren't you? You've got 2 stumps.
Yeah.
But I just think this looks nicer. And like I say, I think it's a visual thing for me. Like, this is great. You can just pour it straight in.
Yeah.
But I can already see there's always some brown edges on it. So it's like...
All the bags had loads of brown bits on.
Yeah.
To dig deep.
There were some yellow sticker ones as well. We could have gone even cheaper.
Oh, yeah.
That's not a bad idea for a follow-up, actually.
What, yellow sticker?
Yellow sticker special. You just don't know what you're going to get. That does look so much more fresh.
It's nice.
And vibrant. Actually, let me just pour this out. Look, there you go. That does look like the cheap version now. Look. The difference in colour.
Yeah, that does look cheap.
I don't know. You get that in like fast food burgers, don't you? But maybe that is...
The key there. Fast food burgers.
Set myself up for that one, didn't I? So how are we going to do it, Mrs. B? I'm going to follow your lead.
Okay, so I think we put a little bit of lettuce in the bottom.
Yeah.
And then just spoon your prawns and sauce on top.
Oh, so we're not like mixing it all in and stirring it in there? Just literally lettuce and then prawns?
Yeah.
Yours looks like paint, genuinely. Ugh. Yeah, the portion sizes we made were actually enough to make about like 10 prawn cocktails. Look how thick that's holding it.
I know.
It's almost got like stiff peaks, like you've whipped meringue or something. Like this just wants to drape. We're actually filming this video on Valentine's Day. This isn't your Valentine's Day dinner.
Aww.
I bought you a Toblerone.
Thank you.
Would you like to share a cheap prawn cocktail with me first of all to set the standard?
Okay.
Texture is crunchy.
Crunchy lettuce.
Visually it looks alright.
It does.
Can't actually get any lettuce, there we go.
Okay. That's actually really nice.
Isn't it? I was trying to find something wrong with that. I'm like, it's got a real nice tang to it. The prawns are fine.
They're fine. They're a little bit, like...
A bit rubbery.
Yeah. But I'd still pay to eat that. The sauce is nice.
It's nice, isn't it?
It doesn't taste like, you know, when you get the cheap ketchup or mayo. It doesn't taste like that.
No. Even though they both are merged together.
But it's the more expensive one, better value.
Oh, aka the point of this video.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Prawns are the jumbo prawns are so good, aren't they? It feels like it's actually a prawn, whereas they're like more like, I don't know, bits of tuna.
I prefer the sauce in the cheap.
Why do you prefer the sauce?
It hasn't got that tang. Maybe we didn't put
Because-
enough ketchup in this.
No, I think your ketchup, like when we were stirring it, like the specks were in that.
Yeah.
Like this didn't have that.
No, this is smoother.
Yeah.
Oh.
If you like a tangy one, that's absolutely fine, isn't it?
I think you could just swap the prawns
Yeah.
and then that would be fine.
It's like a pound difference.
Yeah.
Same amount in weight.
But actually you get more value with the lettuce with the more expensive one.
Yeah, I mean, I liked that lettuce. That has more crunch to it, definitely more
Yeah.
crisp. That just kind of feels like it wants to adhere and be a part of it. This is kind of like selfish lettuce.
But that's just the type of lettuce it is.
What a start.
I don't like those prawns.
It's like just because they're so small, when you have a jacket potato or something, it's not that bad. But
No.
when you compare it to a jumbo one like that, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Our main course is that classic steak, chips and peas with no sauce.
There's a story behind
There
that.
is a brilliant story. Well, basically, they only had one version, so that was it. But let's give peas a chance.
Let's.
Budget peas, 99p for 900 grams of gorgeous gardenal spheres.
And the branded version,
Ooh, is that from Bird's Eye?
yes, because they did not have a deluxe garden peas.
They had petit pois.
Yes.
And again, I was about to get them and you were like, £2.49 for 800 grams. So 100 grams less. So to bring it up to the 900, the £2.49 becomes £2.80, which basically means those peas are 2.8 times more.
Oh, okay. Surely peas are peas.
Well, nearly 3 times more. That's quite a difference. But I don't know. There's some peas that I mean, these look okay, but you can get this real, like, you know, like fish and chip shop mushy peas. Some people either love or hate them in the UK. It's just a bit like, yeah, like dull and like, doesn't even taste like a pea. There's no sweetness. It's like a meh.
Okay.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Okay, so what are we looking for? We're looking for the cheap peas to be, oh, they look round, they look green.
Oh, these look smaller.
They do, don't they? But they look very similar because they're both round and green. All right.
Mine have got more smaller ones than yours. Yours all seem a consistent size.
Yeah. Like, is that kind of less quality control there or more because they want like younger peas perhaps? And they both come from Ireland, by the way. That's the only other thing we could really get. So maybe whether it is Bird's Eye repackaging their bigger peas from the same place.
Gosh, you think someone's going along the line going, too big, too big, too big, like just taking peas out?
You're taking the peas now.
What a job.
I got that. I think just so turn off. What a job. What do you do for a living? On the drop down for like your
pea
insurance?
picker.
It was, yeah. I work in IT. I'm a doctor. I'm a pea
Someone might
picker.
actually have that job. We shouldn't
I
have.
think the factory does it. I would imagine. There could be a quality control.
AI does it.
Oh, you can tell the difference in these.
Oh.
God, they're stuck together. Yours aren't. Look at this. Gosh. Cheap chips, £1.59 for a kilo. Steeper chips, $2.99 for 1.5 kilos. So if we took the more expensive down to 1 kilos, you would actually pay $1.99 for those versus £1.59. So 1.3 times difference, or roughly about 40p between the two, okay?
Oh.
So not too bad.
I was going to say, is that it? I would happily pay 40p more for better quality chips.
Potato chips in seasoned coating, pre-fried in sunflower oil. Ah. It doesn't actually tell you what potato it is. That's one downside. Potato.
So these are the deluxe chunky oven chips made with Maris Piper potatoes.
Maris Pipers. Okay. Nice.
Yes, and it says for chips that are golden and crispy on the outside and fluffy on the inside.
That's what you want in your chips.
Yes.
Oh, these are from Ireland.
These are from Belgium.
Belgium?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it says they've got potatoes and breadcrumbs in them. Oh.
So actually, out of everything, these should take the longest to cook. The peas we're just going to bung in the microwave, so we'll get these in the oven now. Look how clean that oven is, Mrs. B.
Oh, I was just... All right.
It's mine. Mine.
I have noticed you're a lot more careful with things out here than you are tidier than you are in our kitchen.
So, is there a story? Is it me, or...?
Well, now you're making me feel like it's me.
All right, the stakes are high. These are the cheap and steep Lidl steaks. This one is a sirloin steak, 21 day. It's actually slightly lighter in weight. Hopefully you can see the difference there. Although that one to me looks slightly more vibrant. That was £3.89. It's 195 grams, and it came in this, well, fairly basic packaging.
And this is the deluxe version, dry-aged bone-in steak.
So it's actually got bone in it.
Yeah, apparently dry-aged on the bone for 14 days and then further matured to 21 days.
So they're both 21-day steaks. This one was £6.48 for 270 grams. So if you're purely doing it off weight, bearing in mind there's the bone in there, that would actually make that steak £4.68, which would be 1.2 times more, or literally 80p. So the difference between the two. But there's actually quite a lot of fat on that, isn't there? And the bone.
There is.
So when you just look at what you're getting there, I don't know. According to many chefs and steak enthusiasts, a bone-in steak is generally considered better because the bone helps retain moisture and can add flavour to the meat as the marrow seeps out during cooking, resulting in a juicier and more flavourful steak.
Oh, okay. I'm hoping then that these are going to taste really different.
So Mrs. B's just getting the pans ready. And to be fair to the steaks, I'm going to put salt and pepper on both of them. It's going to be really interesting, this. Cooking the steaks up to our preference, which for Mrs. B is typically, well...
I like it.
Incinerated.
I like it not blood pouring out of it.
Very, very well done.
Just well done.
Just extremely well done.
Just done.
Just turn the steak over, and it's really interesting because the bone on the expensive one has actually lifted it up, so it's not charring the side. Hopefully the other side will be better. That is the cheap. Whoa. And you could definitely see where the bone, where it rose up, it wasn't doing the other side too well, but it's really done that side lovely. We need to rest this for about 10 minutes now. Actually, to me, that still looks better. That looks like a pork chop. The steaks are just resting. We'll come back to those in a minute. The chips have come out looking all right. The peas.
We're cooking them in the microwave.
We're giving them a chance. That, in fact, is the recommended way to cook peas on the packaging. Like, genuinely, how awesome is that? So they're doing that. We've got to make sure which one's left or right. The bigger ones are cheap.
Hang on.
I know what you're going to say. It spins around.
I just looked, I was like, yeah.
Oh, no. Well, one of those, it's the bigger ones. We know that. Right. Where's the tape measure? We're fairly confident these are the ones. Down they go. I feel like a little bit of cheap and steep ketchup might be needed, but I guess we should do it just as it is, right?
The peas don't look that much different now they're on the plate.
They don't, do they? But when they were in isolation like that, the colour was crazy. Peas first?
Peas first. Oh.
Nice and sweet. They're not like those horrible peas I was worried about.
They taste really nice.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a high
There you go.
standard. But these do look more vibrant. Oh my gosh. I can scoop all right. It's just that the shake's here. I want to say they're either the same or I prefer these.
I was just thinking they taste exactly the same.
They do, don't they?
But I think these might be a little bit sweeter.
Yeah, they're sweeter, but very similar.
They are pretty much the same. There's no way I would pay whatever it was for those, nearly £3. Yeah.
£1.81 more for the same amount if you had that, or 2.8 times the price. What?
And they taste exactly the same.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that a first? Alright, like cheap versus steep and they taste the same?
I think it could be, you know. Yeah, I mean, the only thing close to that is if we've done spices, but paprika and cinnamon and stuff is just...
Well, they're two different spices, so they are going to be different.
Cheers. Thanks for the clarification, mate. Thanks.
That's what you've been going
No wonder my
wrong.
rice pudding has gone wrong. Okay, 40p more, the steep chips. Ooh, they're a bit...
They got school dinner vibes going on.
I was going to say, like, cafe vibes. But for 40p more, these, is it Belgian?
Oh.
Fluffy. They're crispy, fluffy. And you know what potato it is. That's the worrying thing with these. It was just like, potato.
Can you taste the breadcrumbs?
Do you know what I think?
Oh, I got two.
There is that, the coating is crispy. I don't want another one, but I think that could be playing a part in that there. I don't know whether it's a thing to adhere the coating on or something, but they're way better. And for only 40p more. So at the moment...
These are much better.
Steep chips,
Yum.
cheap peas, steak. It's quite tough actually to pick up. Oh, that is way more tender than I thought. Still a little tough. The seasoning's worked well.
I like that. It's just steak.
Remember, taking into account the weight, this was actually only £1.30 more. But if we did take into account the bone, which won't make a massive difference, it is about a £3 difference. So let's see what the steep steak is like. Again, a little tough to put your fork into, but then when I bit into it, it was actually all right.
Oh, softer, tender.
It is definitely juicier. If that's the difference the bone made.
That's good. Although...
The seasoning is still the dominant thing.
Yeah. Although there's not a massive difference.
No. Perhaps maybe not a £3 difference.
No, but this is good. This is a nice steak.
I think you would probably take, if you had to absolutely choose, I would go for the steep. But that's won like loads of awards. I'm like, oh.
I think it needs peppercorn sauce.
That was 50p. Wasn't it? That was generic 50p. And we were going to drizzle it on, but it would have masked everything about it. So.
I do prefer the steak.
Okay.
Steep steak and chips and cheap peas.
Nice. Right. Time for dessert.
Oh, yum. Now I think this is a really good one because we're using the cheap.
Yeah.
Both of the cheap brands. Cheap. And then both the deluxe version of the custard and pudding.
You get individual sticky toffee puddings at 110 grams each. So two of those, 220 grams, £1.99. So a portion about 100 grams. The steep, £2.89, but you get 450 grams there. But this is interesting again. If you rounded it down, because it must be like the less packaging or something like that, if you had 220 grams of this rather than the 450, this would actually cost £1.41 versus £1.99. So again, another cheap one like the lettuce, but this would be 30% cheaper. So it must be all the separate packaging that makes that go up in cost.
Although I did look, and 1/4 of this, so one portion.
So one portion, yeah.
Is 50% of your daily allowance for saturates.
I think we were nearly over that from those peas.
Peas.
So that's the sticky toffee puddings. Custard, food, glorious food. Cheap little custard. Mrs. Barry's got the deluxe. It comes in a plastic tub. Mine's a cardboard square. Oh, sorry. 500 grams, 69p. 500 grams, £1.99. Easy calculation that. 2.9 times more. Like, is that just like congealed butter from the toffee sauce?
I reckon so.
So have we got the equivalent in this? Oh. That wants to just come off. Look at that. Oh, wow. That's looking way better at the minute. Smells amazing in here. Oh, look. Oh, that is cheeky.
That smells very buttery.
I think, like, seeing it before with the butter on there, like, has kind of put me off a little bit. Oh,
Oh, nice.
food, glorious food. My custard is yellow. Your custard is white.
Yep.
That'll be the vanilla bits.
Yours is school dinner custard. No, yours does look like proper custard though.
That's nostalgia there, isn't it?
When you have custard, that's what you want it to look like.
Yeah, yours looks more like just cream. Remember, that's 3 times more in price.
Are you going with custard or without?
Without first. Oh my word.
Ooh.
Oh, that's just sugar, isn't it? It's a little gritty. Do you know what I mean? It's a little gritty. It's a little powdery or something.
Yeah, I do love custard.
Oh, it's proper mellow, isn't it? It's all right. It's not much to it. But that is literally school dinner custard, isn't it? Like you say. Does the job, though.
Oh, I went to eat more and I was like, no, I've got to try this one.
Yeah, that's good.
That's nice.
Oh, crikey.
Oh, look at this. This looks luxurious. See? It's softer, isn't it?
Yeah, that is very tender, isn't it? Oh, wow. That is amazing. Oh my gosh, that's good. That'll be the butter. I'm convinced that was just a solidified block of butter sat on the top of that.
Oh wow, that's so rich.
Isn't it? And the sugar's really good. It's like it could be like a muscovado or something. It seems really nice.
Oh, that's nice.
It's not gritty. It's spongy and delicate. And maybe the cream now.
Custard. That looks like cream.
Oh yeah, it just looks like cream.
Hang on, sorry, excuse me.
That tastes like cream.
Oh yeah.
That's literally cream. It's nice.
Oh.
It's ice creamy, but
I don't like that.
No?
No.
You're missing that. So the ultimate for you would be
Oh no, that's too like.
this.
Oh yes. Good idea.
Good idea. I'm starving.
I'm not eating anything all day.
Oh. Mate, that's amazing. The pudding alone is sensational.
I'm sorry, I can't take all the credit.
Oh,
I think Lidl needs some credit.
It's like when you buy like emergency birthday cake from the supermarket and like, oh, did you bake this yourself? Yes. You just eat away, mate, because I'm remembering what you said about the daily allowance for it.
Oh.
No, but that's the thing. It's so good. You could just inhale that.
Yeah, but you can taste why. It's like 2-3 mouthfuls.
Oh.
And it's quite.
And then you want another one.
Then you've had enough. No, it's really, really rich.
Oh, I like the cream.
Like it.
I like the cream with it because
you are a cream.
Yeah.
You like
cream
cream
over custard.
I don't like cream.
I'm cream over custard any day.
No, see, I'm the opposite. That's why you like that so much.
Saying stuff like this creates a debate. Are you team cream or team custard?
Oh, I feel a bit sick now.
It is. It's a bit headachy.
I'm just going to eat a bit more. Yeah. It is. It's all that sugar.
Oh no, to be fair, we have actually got quite a bit left.
Did I cut a quarter
That was
out?
that's quite good. And we are sharing it, and there's about half left. So
It's one of those things where you know you shouldn't eat anymore, but you just can't help yourself.
nice. Cool. Well, there is nothing better to wash down 3 courses than a nice little sophisticated adult drink. How about your favourite drink, Mrs. B?
Rosé?
Oh yeah, brilliant. Thank goodness. Rosé. Cheap versus steep pizza 2. This was made in an outdoor pizza oven.
And this was made in an outdoor pizza oven.
Yeah, except one of them's like 3.5 times more the price. So we might not even call this cheap versus steep anymore because some people are saying, Barry, what does steep mean? And it's like, well, expensive, gourmet, luxury, or how much? That's what we're going to call it. Cheap versus how much? Done my trusty calculations. We've been out to the gourmet supermarket and indeed the how much supermarket and the budget supermarket, and we are going to make fresh dough. Do you think this pizza today is going to be better, cheap or expensive?
Expensive.
Why?
I think it will be this tomato sauce that makes a difference.
I believe from previous cheap versus how much videos, you're right. However, we are cooking in our pizza oven outside, and that finish is going to get 500 C heat on it. And I believe that blistering is going to override everything. And I'm going team cheap today.
The way you said that makes it sound like it was going to be so burnt.
just burn it. Yeah, let's just burn it.
It's the same.
Let's make some dough. Okay, so this is bread flour. 1.5 kilos of flour. We need a kilo. This was £1 and 9p. Now this is the expensive one. This is £2 for a kilo of flour. It's from somebody called Wild Farmed Life-Changing Bread Flour. 100% traceable supply chain, pesticide free, grown with companion and cover. I don't know what that means. It's got a disco ball on it. But we've only got a kilo and we need a kilo, so we might generally need to borrow some of the cheap flour. But that was £2. We just made an executive decision off camera, and it has nothing to do with the fact that these are the 2 biggest bowls that we've got at the moment in the house. So we're lowering the amount we need down to 500 grams, which is plenty for a pizza. It just means we'll adjust all the ratios, but of course the multiples are still the same. That is your cheap flour, and it looks like flour. I'm expecting like gold particles to just fly out.
And little butterflies to come out. It looks lighter in colour.
It does, doesn't it?
And it doesn't look as dense.
Are you talking about me or the flour? There is a colour difference, definitely. There really is.
Is that your shadow?
What are you doing?
Comparing it.
Out of context, if it was just me, like, and other people here, actually, they would be like, what the?
If you walked in when I was doing that, you'd be like...
But this is cheap.
Cheap.
And this is, how much?
How much?
How much?
Okay.
So when it comes to the yeast, we're just going to use a sachet. I got a packet of these from the cheap supermarket. So it's 42p for the package, but I only need one, which comes to 11 pence. Now this stuff is £1.40 for exactly the same amount of sachets. Now, some of you that are keen watchers of the channel will know that when I have used this particular brand, I've had real problems with this one. So it could completely flop.
User error.
So the sachet of the cheap is 11 pence. The sachet of the, how much? 23 pence.
Oh, wow.
So it's 2 times more. Let's see if it rises to the occasion.
Hooray.
There we go. And here we go. Oh, I don't know, what are we saying?
Good, I think it's a slightly different colour.
So next up, Mrs. B is getting some cold water from the tap, 300 millilitres per portion. Now, I'm being a good Barry, right? We are not going to buy... I nearly bought some bottled water.
Oh, you didn't, did you?
No, I didn't. I didn't. If I did that, I would have needed to have bought bottled water from the budget supermarket as well. And if you're doing that, really, you wouldn't do it, would you? You know. Okay, so we just had a bit of a water rant. We're now going to do an olive oil rant, and I was good. Mrs. B actually sent me to the shop and said, Barry, you'd be good today. Remember, we've got some crazy extra virgin olive oils in the past from the how much supermarket? You know, ones that are in canisters, like real crazy stuff.
Yeah, I said make sure you get the same. Make sure they're both olive oils, not...
Just olive oil.
Just olive oil. No added extras.
But this was still a really expensive difference. So the cheap supermarket sells this oil blend. So it is literally olive oil, but it's called oil blend with olive oil, which is sort of like a blend of olive oil with about 30% sunflower oil. It's sold as olive oil on the receipt, so we're taking it. For a litre, £3.49.
Okay.
And we only need 25 mil, so that's 9 pence. Now for the smaller size of 500 mil, let's just see if you can see that. This is quite a well-known brand. Filippo Berro, you see it in a lot of, well, you see it in most supermarkets. That is proper authentic olive oil. But it's 500 mil rather than the litre. For 500 mil, it's £10.15. So if you wanted a litre, it would be £20.30.
Oh my goodness, £10.
So for the 25 mil that we need, it's 51p there versus 9p there. That is a 5.6 times difference.
That better make this pizza base taste amazing.
Well, I think it could. I mean, look at the difference in the colour.
Yeah.
That's crazy, right? That actually looks really weak and watery, and that looks like decent, and it's got a slightly different thickness. That, I know you're saying about the tomatoes, the flavour, but in terms of the crust...
Yeah, I wonder if that's
that could, yeah. All right, so we've got a head whisk, and Mrs. B's got another whisk, right? Nice. So just to save our hands a little bit, we're going to knead it with this. But now it's a nice smooth dough. There's one other ingredient to go in, and I know this is going to be a little controversial, but the multiple was so exciting for me. Salt, okay? All the flavours you could have been in the world, Mrs. B. Why did you have to pick salty? You ever heard of that phrase?
No. What are you trying to say?
Salt. So this is some salt. It helps with the structure and actually strengthening the dough too, which might help with us shaping it a little bit later on also. This is your classic table salt, 500 grams, and this was 43p.
Bargain.
We need 25 grams of that, which works out 2p. Now this is going to cause controversy. This is some flaky salt, which is normally more for like seasoning and finishing things off. However, it is still salt. It's pure and soft Anglesey flaky salt. There's other brands available. In fact, I really like using Maldon salt. They do a smoked salt that I love. But for this tub of 170 grams, see that there? Look at these delicate flakes, huh? Guess how much? Oh, have you seen the receipt?
No.
£5. So, for 25 grams, 74p versus 2p. Like, most of the multiples today are around about 3x. That's a multiple of 37 times more.
Okay. So how much do we need to put in each thing? A teaspoon.
It was 25 grams for a kilo, but we're doing 500 grams, so about 12.
Can I say something? And you might laugh at me. But isn't this salt gonna be heavier than this salt?
What weighs more? A ton of feathers or a ton of rocks?
A ton of rocks.
Exactly.
What's that got to do with salt? If this one tastes saltier, then you know what I was getting at.
The dough actually doesn't need much flour at all, and I'm loving the elasticity of it. It just feels like a really nice smooth dough, and this is just the cheap one.
Yeah, this one does too. This feels really smooth.
All right, Mrs. B, we're gonna do a jump cut.
Oh, see, I think mine's smoother.
Oh my gosh. That's delicate, and it feels like, I don't know if this is the right word, but puffy?
Yeah, I almost didn't want to be kneading it because I felt like I was going to ruin it.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. Right, cheap.
How much?
We're going to get these covered, place them in a warm place for at least an hour. Remember the how much yeast? Not a fan of it, but that dough, I've got to say, was much smoother.
I think it's that flour.
Yeah.
That wild flour.
It's definitely that disco ball, isn't it?
Yeah.
Out by our boiler in our warm spot, we've got the cheap and the how much. We will see what happens to these in around about 90 minutes time. Mrs. B's got to go out to the real world for about an hour anyway, so this is perfect. You're going to go outside and touch grass,
yeah.
Right? Whilst you're doing that, I'm going to talk to you about the sauce. It's exciting, isn't it? All right, let's do the sauce then. And it's worth noting, we are going to add some salt into this. For the flaky one that I was talking about earlier, I did grind it down. When it went in the dough, we just sort of pinched it with our fingers and thumbs a little bit to make it nice and fine, just like this other salt. So basically, I got taught this sauce that's really, really basic. Most important thing you need is a tin of tomatoes where they're peeled so you don't get any of the skin in it. So this tin was 47p. This tin by a really well-known brand, and actually they are really nice to be fair, for £1.5p, so 2.2 times more. Again, peeled plum tomatoes. What we do is pass the tomatoes through a sieve, okay? Now we don't want to go too overkill on this, but we don't want it to be too watery because it could affect our base later on. So you're kind of left with the thick stuff, all right? You see how watery that is? We don't want that on our pizza. In fact, we don't want to drip it all on our side either. So washed out in the sieve. And let's see if there's any sort of visual. Oh, wow. Wow, look at that. So much less watery. So much more vibrant. Okay, we kind of got Mrs. B with the ton of rocks feathers thing, but I think she's going to be right about the tomatoes here. For 2 times the price right now, I'm just feeling like a peace of mind that I've got like decent tomatoes. Shimmy that salt in. So these are the more expensive ones. Let's bring it back in. They actually look, I don't know. I've only got a pug here right now to give me another point of view, but they look fairly similar. I'm just preheating the oven for a bonus cheap versus steep taste test, which we'll come on to in just a minute. You all right, mate?
Hello.
Have you seen the dough?
Yes.
It's good, isn't it?
It's got big.
Yeah, we'll show you that in just a minute. We'll just talk about the toppings and then we can start to bring this together. So we're gonna need some mozzarella, this ball from the cheap supermarket. We think we're gonna use most of it, 69p. This is a larger bag, which is £3.10, but it's almost double the amount of mozzarella in there, not including the weight of the water. It literally is double for £1.55, so it's 2.2 times more, but this is good stuff.
And surely mozzarella can't be much different?
Yeah, I don't know, because you get like buffalo mozzarella and stuff, don't you?
Yeah.
So many dilemmas, and then we're like, well, we're gonna find out.
Yeah.
So for hard cheese, unfortunately, they didn't have Parmesan in the cheap supermarket. They normally did, but it was sold out. So we've got grana padano, which is actually, there's a video that I've done where I went to Italy and learnt how it was made. I'm not saying that as a sore point whatsoever with Mrs. B. She's like, you've been to Italy and I haven't. We're gonna need about 60 grams of this, so that works out at 60 pence. Still really good stuff.
Yeah.
It's like a turf war between grana padano and parmigiano anyway. This was a matured for 24 months parmesan, which was, there was a standard one and then there was this extremely expensive one. And that came in at £5.30.
Wow.
Which when we scale it down to the size we need is £1.27. So this is 2.10 times more in cost versus the two.
I think this steep pizza is getting very, very steep.
This is the cheap basil. This was a bag of basil, 52p for 32 grams. We need about 10 grams. So we'll just call it 10p, all right?
Okay.
But like it's in a package like this, and the, how much? Supermarket, they would normally have had that packaging. They didn't, so I was forced to buy a plant pot, which was slightly more anyway. For that plant pot, it's £1.70 for the same amount of weight, just 10 grams, 56p. So we're paying 5 times more for a bunch of basil than we are a package.
Oh.
But we're going to actually put pieces of the basil leaves on the pizza before we bake it as well.
Okay.
So they might get charred a bit. We'll see.
Yeah.
We can always finish it with it. We'll just cover it. It'll just look like a big salad.
Oh my gosh, smell the difference.
Oh my word.
That is incredible.
That is crazy. I mean, that is literally a fresh plant.
Yeah.
And this, I mean, it was bunched together nicely.
But you'd expect this to be a fresh plant too.
There's something there. It's more peppery.
I wonder if it's because it's been sealed in a bag.
That one, they smell the same. And the mozzarella, as we saw, obviously we've got double the size, so you just want to have that one.
Have it?
Yeah,
Okay.
and we're just gonna, I don't know, cut it into chunks. We might do smaller pieces actually.
Oh, mine looks crumblier.
Oh yeah, yours has got like a real nice texture to it, hasn't it?
Yours looks a bit rubbery.
Yes, mine looks like a sock. Those ingredients are over there, right?
Yeah.
So just for the minute, we thought we'd have a little bit of fun. When I was in the supermarket last night, I noticed they both have their own version of their margarita pizza stone-baked style. This stone-baked margarita for 305 grams of pizza, £2.49. Stone-baked margarita pizza, tomato sauce, mozzarella, bit of cheddar cheese on there. And it looks, look at this section there, okay? Look at that. For 356 grams, £4.95.
Wow.
So that's a difference of £2.46, but if you scale the weight back to make it fair, that's £1.75 more. This is also a stone-baked margarita pizza with sauce, mozzarella, and cheddar cheese. Now, is this from the same place? Genuinely, it looks the same. So the colour on the cheap one does look like slightly darker, like a stronger, richer sauce maybe, but you've got that classic, stereotypical like grated cheese that you get in bulk in just looks like it's chucked on there. It looks like chunks of cheddar as well, like nothing too great.
And then this one is a lot lighter in colour, the cheese, and it looks like strips rather than grated, and then the chunks.
And the sauce is lighter too, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, number one is going in. This is just a bonus thing though. I'm about to preheat something way hotter. That is 200C fan, but that is cold compared to today. So that's outside preheating to make sure that stone's really hot, but I think it's time for some pizza.
Okay, this is the first time we've ever done anything like this.
Yeah, I thought I might just add it to it. See, the base isn't very good at all. It's very floury.
That's the first thing I noticed as well. Tastes nice though. It's quite tomatoey
That is a good pizza.
and a bit doughy.
I like that.
It's passable.
I think it's just a cheese and tomato pizza, and like, it tastes like, the ingredients don't taste phenomenal.
No.
It's a pass. This, I don't know about this. Oh yeah, it's got a better base on it actually. That is good.
That's better. That tomato sauce has got like basil in it.
Yeah, there's better ingredients on it, but that almost tastes like cold pizza, like the texture of it almost feels like more tear. That felt softer.
That one was definitely doughier, the cheap. This is nice, I like this.
Would you pay double for that versus that though?
No.
No, I don't think I would either.
If it was just £1 more, then yes.
Yeah, it's a thinner crust, but there's not much excitement going on with it. This is better ingredients, but yeah, I think cheap wins that one. Look at these.
I cannot believe that is the same bit of dough.
I mean, it's a warm day. We left it 90 minutes. That is how much? You know, that's got a real nice rounding on it. That yeast sometimes isn't good for me.
User error.
All right, so this is our cheap pizza base, and it was deceptively tricky to roll out, actually. It wasn't very smooth. It was all right. And just a teeny drizzle. Oh, actually, that's quite a big drizzle.
I was just going to say that there's quite a lot of olive oil.
Right, let's get this in a very hot oven. Right, I'm not being funny, folks, but even this is just the cheap. Compare that to that. Right, steep. Oh my gosh, I will take that. I will take that. They both look amazing.
They do. You couldn't tell the difference from them looking like this.
No. So the rise there, oh, we did well. Getting used to that oven. We're going to have some serious fun on the channel with that, folks. So before we taste it,
Yeah.
The total ingredients for making the cheap was £3.11.
Cheapo.
Yeah.
The steep, how much? £9.91.
Oh my goodness.
So 3.2 times more just for the ingredients to make the dough that we've made. So we could probably make 3 or 4 pizzas.
Yeah.
Which when you get a pizza takeaway, some of them are like 40, 50 quid.
Yeah.
Even the steep is ridiculously cheaper. The entire shop for the cheap supermarket, £8.25. The how much supermarket, £26 for the shop for this, yeah. So that is
Oh, wow.
3.2 times more. It's
Yeah.
a difference of £6.80 per ingredient quality. So let's see if that difference, so just for those ingredients, for what we're using, £6.80 difference.
I'm really hoping this steep one is worth that amount.
Let's try. Oh, I was told by an Italian, a floppy base is good.
It's good.
Oh, look at the charring on it. Oh. Come on.
That's really good.
That's going to be hard to beat.
Even the tomatoes. And I had very strong opinions that the cheap tomatoes were not going to be nice. But actually, they're good.
It's the method, I think, of cooking, which is why I wanted to save this for that oven. Like I said, like we can put it in our oven and it's great, but that charring, it's kind of like toast. Everyone likes toast in different ways. There's that crazy graph, right?
I can definitely taste the hard cheese more on this one.
And the mozzarella is sort of creamier as well. There's like a nice depth to that. The crust is actually quite similar.
Oh,
Oh, that is gorgeous.
that is good. But you know what? If you gave me a piece of this and a piece of cheap and a piece of steep on the same plate, I don't think I'd tell the difference.
No, I am not paying 3 times more for that, or £6.80 or whatever it was, just for the ingredients, because we can make at least 4 more with what we bought.
Yeah.
Basically, for £3.11, we can make 4 gourmet budget pizzas, which tick the box, and then you've got like herbs, all the different toppings, all the different oils. Cheap one.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah?
I really
I thought
wanted...
you were going to say no.
Well, I think the steep cheese wins.
Yeah.
And the tomatoes, they do not taste any different.
So the ultimate combo would be better cheese on actually a standard base of flour, yeast. The oil.
But
oil
may-
didn't do anything.
No, but maybe not. If you don't like cheese that much, so I like strong cheese and I can really taste it on the
Yeah,
steep.
there is that stronger taste, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think
But-
the whole package, cheap wins. Check out the rest of the playlist. I hope you find this as fascinating as we do. We're going to do a throwback one soon where we go to our very first one, chocolate brownies, and see if shrinkflation has nearly made the cheap ingredients be as much as how much?
That will be really interesting to see the difference in price now.
Yeah. Check it out. Thanks for watching. Cheers to all the patrons that help support the running costs of the channel. Love you. See you later. Bye, Mrs. B.
Bye. Bye. Where are you going?
I'm going to eat this.